Hello guys, my name is Andrei. I'm a certified translator and a real estate concierge based in Minsk and operating in Minsk and across Belarus. Almost 4 years now, my company has been relocating people to Belarus. And if you're planning such move, you are free to give me a direct message somewhere here. Today's video is about frequently asked questions. They will be oriented at India, although people from some other countries may still find some interesting information in those. It just so happens that the traffic of people wishing to remotely invest or subsequently relocate to Belarus is increasing now. 2 deals with apartments in Vitebsk this summer were a good evidence of that. And now I'm working to streamline the understanding of the Indian clients about how they can invest money, how they can purchase a little property over here and make this property get them residency and full legal base and not lose money, unlike with some village houses, cheap village houses near Minsk, 3 hours away from the city. That will lose you the residency and will get you a 5-year ban from Belarus. For these stories, refer to my earlier videos of the Indian relocation drama, and you'll find out more details about how it worked. A little injection about trust and reputation. I've been running these videos for a while, and one of my competitors, who ran away from Belarus essentially, is now relaxing in Latin America and trying to run his stuff remotely with some local handlers here in Minsk. We actually know that he scammed a lot of people, a lot of fellow Indians, by the way, and we have some potential cases here on the ground standing by, just 1 or 2, nothing serious, but should this guy return, they will immediately be filed to the local police station. And we will try to see it through whether or not massive fraud was taking place or people just by mistake invested $10,000 of crypto into some village houses, paying that from India, not to this guy. And this guy's friends were trying their best to get them their residencies, their status, their business, which did not work out. Well, choose between the operators wisely. I ask your questions. Ask yourselves, how can a man run relocation operations from Argentina or somewhere else with all the luxury and gold and crap? And whether or not you would rather deal with the operator based in Minsk, Belarus, doing this stuff. Where is it best to apply for a visa? We find in our operations that Mumbai consulate is the most, let's say, accommodating, the most adequate, if we may put it this way, and should you observe all the requirements, the visa will be provided. LLCSAS, that is providing an invitation for your visit. Mostly my channel viewers will be invited by my company, of course, is fully responsible for your stay in Belarus. So it's our job to make sure you follow all the guidelines and get all the things done well and right on the government side. The Mumbai consulate works a couple of days a week. I'll be posting a link with the routine of how they work and their requirements. And the most standard documents for the visa support, which is normally not more than 30 days, or they would require original papers, are the invitation, the service contract, which is the base of your trip down here, the hotel confirmation, and the bank statement, and a couple of pictures, and insurance. And again, the list of these things will be shortened and located in my video description. With these, you can get a normal visa within 5 working days or an express visa, which comes at a double visa fee, and you can get it basically within 48 hours, more or less, which is handy if you're not living in Mumbai and you have to travel back home from there after the application. Someone is asking how they may get Belarusian permanent residency through investment. By law, such investment must amount 15,000 base units. It's quite complicated. It's an investment into government assets, and this gives you permanent residency. 15,000 base units is this much in US dollars right now. It's going to change from January the 1st as the value of the base unit will go up a little bit. Somebody is asking if there is a minimal requirement for the TRP property investment. That's a really good question, especially with people who wish to save money. Many of you have noticed that we are working with $30,000 worth properties, which is the most basic, the most reasonable start in any major city outside Minsk. Minsk has a considerably higher price for a basic apartment, and we're aiming at 1 or 2 room apartments at this price. Something that may need a brush up, but something that's not completely ruined, and something that can be rented out for a passive income. I would say that from my experience, you can also try and risk some of those crappy village houses. There are a couple of recent success stories with those, but it's really a bad gamble. And if you wish to play lottery with your money, hard-earned money, I really recommend you to go in serious and to put serious money on the table, and not to deal with a guy who is sitting in Latin America and is arranging all these things here. Come here, transfer the money, and get the place purchased and established yourself. That's the best way to go. Someone is asking about how much it is to rent a 2+1 room apartment near university. I would say that a 2-room flat with, I understand, a double bed and a sofa or something that could sleep 3 people, accommodate 3 people, would go for at least $350. We may even think $400. And right now we have a new flat with my Canadian client. We're looking to rent it out. And we have thrown in a few pieces of furniture to see what kind of outcome we're going to get as we are renting it out long term. I'll keep you posted on that. Someone is asking about how to stay in Belarus for a long-term residency. Let's just say temporary residency is up to 1 year. That's the most popular and the most accessible thing that you can consider. And the most popular ways to apply for one are property, business, when you're an employee, business as in a job, not owning a business, but business that employs you. So we might say employment. Education, marriage, healthcare treatment, and a few other things that are not really popular. So out of these 4 or 5 basic reasons, you can pick one that suits you most. And my recommendation here, guys, you may try to save $50 on the consultancy, and you may ask like 5 guys about how it worked and do the same way without understanding that this thing has changed already. And I could give you a few examples of how things were recommended and then they changed, and people lost considerably more. So the first thing I recommend you guys, if you really have a serious plan to come here and you are looking to hire an operator over here, be that me or any other, let's call it immigration lawyer, although I'm pretty confident as a translator, as a non-lawyer, that you only have to follow the guidelines and do the right things, and the lawyer will not really be necessary unless it comes to the startup of a business, in which case lawyers and accountants are definitely a must, ideally local ones, not foreigners. Somebody is asking, I want to work in Belarus remotely. Are there any sanctions and restrictions that they brought about? Well, working remotely here is one of the best ways to get a foreign salary and a local quality of life, which is decent compared to other countries, with some factors interchangeable and perhaps competing with one another. Like if street safety is not important to you, you may go somewhere a bit south, and if there are some other things you may want to consider, you may go somewhere west. Belarus has a curious mixture of these advantages that we discussed earlier in a video, 5 reasons to move to Belarus, and this is something that is just entirely your own decision. The sanctions affect Belarus in terms of getting the money in here, but for somebody who is doing internet employment, it doesn't seem to be a barrier. VPNs and other things work perfectly. And it's just about finding an employer who will not mind your being in Belarus, because one of the guys here allowed his software run for a few minutes and he was flagged, IP flagged, that he is from Belarus. And the employer says, sorry, you're out. It's a shame, of course, that they should be so undemocratic in those democracies, but such things happen. So you have to weigh up the chances and take your, let's say, precautions against that. Someone is asking, can I shop for an apartment on a tourist visa? Yes, if you come here on a tourist visa or visa-free, you can still look for a property and buy one if you have to. That's really not a problem. The question contained the word dealer. It's not really appropriate to say apartment dealer or something. The real estate world is split into agents and realtors. Each of them has their role, and mostly you'll be interacting with an agent who will be taking care of your thing. In my case, I'm a certified translator. I'm not an agent by law because I'm not employed by any real estate agency, and it doesn't seem I need such a status right now. So with some appropriate training, I'll be more capable translator or of more help as a translator in many cases when you interact with different agencies that are trying to sell you their stuff. Because the key advantage of an unbiased translator like myself, I don't have to sell you the stuff. I have to find you a solution that makes you happy. And I can also give you a couple of examples of the agents trying to push through their stuff. And me, partially from my experience, secondly, partially because I'll have to deal with that later to rent that apartment out. I was critical of the choice, and the purchase never happened because of this. So it just depends on how you feel and how you estimate the expertise of your operator. You can hire me, you can hire somebody else who speaks English or none at all and get it done. Question is how much money you will have saved by getting one package solution. In case with me, it's just rhetorical. It's up to you guys. Now is the best time for you to come to Belarus to check how it really is, because winter is not really half a year thing here, but it lasts for its legitimate 3 months. That's the charm of Belarus. It has seasons changing with one another and following one another. And you more or less get a break from constant sunshine and stuff like that. And the rejection may be over your paperwork, sometimes over the other factors, let's call it that way. And it's about your doing your homework when you apply for a visa that gets you succeed with it. If you were looking for a pleasure trip of some kind, obviously come between April and September. If you're coming for long-term investment prospects, right now the landscape of Minsk or Vitebsk is not looking super inviting. And for a person from a warmer climate, it may be like questionable, let's say. But right now you see the downside, the very negative side of the place that you may or may not wish to settle long-term, and that's vital. So believe it or not, now is the best time to come. A very interesting question. What are the lawyer charges for the immigration? Again, my position is everybody gets their bread and stuff like that, but lawyers are, by definition, are not a requirement to settle you down from the immigration point of view. You have to read, understand, and fulfill the requirements. And for instance, if you are working there was a case, a real case, when a family was working to create some cafe or something, established a business, the legal company got it done, but they brought their children out of the blue. They didn't prepare any documents for the children. They were just like, oh, and here are the kids. And kids necessitate a certain effort, certain paperwork, and to be a family, you have to get this done before you come. So if you take a decision like this out of the blue, no lawyer will help you much. There are, of course, solutions to every problem, but they may come at higher costs, so it really helps to get information, get a consultancy before you travel, and be that a lawyer or a translator who operates in the field, it really doesn't matter. As for the charges, you can pay a few $100s to a legal company just for a consultancy. And based on another case with a British guy, instead of buying some shares of some company in his name and getting some directorate responsibilities, management responsibilities that they were offering to him in return for a considerable amount of money, which was a bit higher than what I charge, The guy's solution was on the table. His family status allowed him to go legit, and he didn't even have to rent a flat long term for his TRP. He's based here, he's happy, his solution cost him not more than $300. That's it. So guys, be reasonable when you're looking for a lawyer, when you're looking for some VIP service. The solution may be just basic and lying on the table next to you. And generally, I would like to thank you all very much again for your attention, for staying with my channel, for helping my channel. There are two only links left for subscription long-term or for one-time donations that you can make use of. To support the channel, it doesn't have to be like a considerable amount of money, although it's appreciated. $5 or $10 if you do it like once in a month perhaps. That would show me that you have interest in the channel and such videos, such content is useful, and it will be coming out again. I have some hopefully good ideas for the next year, more into real estate. If your plan to relocate here or to invest remotely into an apartment giving you passive income, if it's any solid, you can start with a consultancy by contacting me. The phone is over here. And if there are 3 factors determining your success, we are going to have a project. That's straight idea, straight communication, and straight budget. If all these things are like steps in a staircase in a building, you're gonna get it done. If you are not sure if you want to pay me for consultancy, if you're not sure if I'm gonna be your operator, we can have a friendly introduction, of course, but then it all starts with a consultancy. Consultancy is experience and knowledge is money. So guys, make your choice. Thank you for watching the videos, and cheers from Minsk. See you in the next year.